This is the heart of the matter. I'm Aaron Cohen. Today we're especially pleased to welcome Arnold M. Eisen, who's the chancellor of the Jewish Theological Seminary. Under Professor Eisen's leadership, the Jewish Theological Seminary has embarked on a bold new vision, and we're excited by the opportunity to meet with you and discuss some of your ideas and activities and what you see for the future of not only JTS, but also for the American Jewish community. And I wanted to start with really a rather broad question for you. So, pick and choose from among these issues that seem to you to be the most relevant. But I'm curious what your concept is of the American Jewish future. If you will, a kind of SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that the American Jewish community faces, how Jews understand their evolving identity, their relationship to the State of Israel, and most importantly, from where you sit at JTS, to the Jewish wisdom tradition.
I guess prophecy is hard at any time, but if you have a sense of Jewish history, you're humbled by the dangers of prophecy right now because our situation is truly unprecedented. So we know that the State of Israel is unprecedented. We have a sovereign Jewish state reborn in the Holy Land before the advent of the Messiah. Nothing in Jewish history, nothing in Jewish tradition could have predicted this. And it's exciting, and it's risky, and it offers potential for Jewish life, which we could not have dreamed of even 100 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago. And then we have in America a situation that's perhaps no less unprecedented. We have a thriving Jewish community in what is, without a doubt, the greatest diaspora a Jew could possibly have wanted to live in the entire history of the Jews. There are blessings and opportunities here, not just for Jews, but for Judaism, that are unparalleled because America is unparalleled. You have not only diversity, but you have pluralism. You have an acceptance of serious differences among people, religious, ethnic differences, which is unparalleled in the world. You have a degree of mobility, which is unparalleled. You have people joining, leaving organizations, joining new organizations. Everything is in flux. And as if that were not enough, right now we're in the year 2010, a mere 16 years into the internet age. It's hard to remember, but 16 years. I have students who were barely 2 or 3 years old when the internet came into widespread usage. They can't imagine life without it. But for those of us of our age, we know that this has introduced change of a rapidity and a degree that the world has never seen before. And you can only expect more of this and more rapid change in the years to come. So how prophecy? So bearing all that in mind, I think what one has to say is if we Jews have the wisdom to use the blessings to best advantage, this is an incredible time of opportunity. So look at the financial resources that are available. Look at the human capital that's available to the Jewish community. Look at the opportunities for Jewish growth in any number of areas. Look what's been achieved just in the last 15 or 20 years. I'm a lifelong member of the Jewish studies profession. That profession didn't exist when I was a young man. Look at the day schools, the proliferation of day schools. Look at how we're thriving with the notion of Jewish camping. Look at the growth of and revitalization of synagogues and non-denominational movements all over the place. So there are many, many things that are going right, and I haven't begun to list them. And so you say to yourself, if we can maximize our opportunities, this can be an incredible time. Now, I expect that just as among different religious groups, the switching, as it were, the fluidity, the flux, is going to continue. I expect that's true among Jewish life. So whether there are going to be more Reform Jews, more conservative, more Orthodox Jews, whether the population movement from the Midwest to the Southwest will continue, whether Orthodox Jews will continue to have large families as they are now, and conservative and Reform Jews will continue to have relatively smaller families. These are variables that are absolutely crucial to the Jewish future, and I don't see how one can predict them with any certainty. But what I am confident about, and this guided my choice to become Chancellor of JTS, and this guides our vision of JTS, that if we can offer Jews purpose, meaning in life, right, Torah, you use the word wisdom, right, something to live for, ethical principles, meaningful family experiences, and we can offer them a whole set of things like this, opportunities to work to transform the world, and we can do so in communities that give you a sense of belonging and a secure home base from which to venture forth into the world, and real face-to-face contact with other people that you know will be there for you. So if we can offer people community, we can offer them meaning, we know that Jews are going to come back for more. And so our success will depend on our ability to do this well in the coming years.
Mm-hmm. We have a situation that you describe where people have a tremendous breadth of opportunity and the freedom to make choices among those opportunities, some of which are more traditionally based, some of those which are innovative because of new technologies, social media, etc. What kinds of people do you find choosing JTS, let's say, sort of start from that microcosm, if you will, and work out, who are selecting the institution? What are they bringing in terms of their desire for choice, the kinds of options and opportunities that they're looking for?
Right, so let me back up because some of the people watching us may not be aware of the complexity of JTS as an institution, but JTS began about 125 years ago, was reborn under the visionary leadership of Solomon Schechter at the turn of the 20th century, and the idea from the beginning was America needs a new vision of Judaism. America needs new leadership imbued with that vision to guide communities in its realization. So for 100 years now, JTS has been trying to put out a vision of what Judaism has been and can be. And it can't be exactly what it has been because the circumstances are so utterly different, but there has to be real continuity between what Judaism has been and what it's going to be in the future. That's the key to all we do, and train leadership of different sorts to carry forth that vision. Now, we have undergraduates at JTS. We have 200 turned-on undergraduates who care so much about being in a Jewish community and taking a solid background in the history and texts of Judaism that they do 2 degrees. One at Columbia or Barnard and one at JTS. So what's bringing those people to JTS? The community, a really tight community, a diverse community, a Jewish community, but a community that's in the big wider world of Columbia or Barnard and the huge world of New York. So they venture forth confidently into that world, bringing whatever they learn at JTS into their poli-sci class or their neurobiology class or to their culture, their theater, their arts, etc., etc. So these are kids who already know at the age of 18, 19, something about Jewish life attracts them, and they want to be deepened in it. They want to be broadened in it. They want to be with Jews as they make this journey into the wider world. I think that most colleges and universities would be happy at Hillel with 10, 15 of those kids. We have 200 of them. So that immediately gives the place a kind of vitality. Then I think what you were asking me in particular is about the students choosing Judaism as a career. The rabbis, the cantors, the educators. And the one word that I would use to describe them in relationship to past cohorts is diverse. These are really diverse. A lot of them, increasingly, are second career. They've done something else, and they've realized they want not just a career, but a vocation. They want a career that's going to be meaningful. They want to help build the Jewish future. And so you get people who've done their Buddhist thing. You get people who've done their thing as an attorney or in the financial world. And they want to do now something that involves learning and teaching and leading. They want to do something that makes the world better, makes individual human lives better. So if I could just illustrate with one vignette from last week's experience. We have a program in pastoral care. When I was appointed 5 years ago, I spent a year touring the country, listening to people talk. I asked them, what would you like to see differently in the preparation of your rabbis? And the rabbis and the congregants all said, we want them to be better providers of pastoral care. People have times of need. They need help. They need a firm guiding hand, a shoulder to lean on. They need someone to listen to them. They need someone to comfort them. They need someone to speak to them about God and with God. So last week I had the experience of talking to 6 rabbinical students who just had their internships in hospitals, old age homes, etc. And you listen to them talk, and one by one they tell you with a straight face, without any exaggeration, this experience transformed me. It changed my life. Why? Because here they are, uncertain about this new path they've chosen, uncertain about whether they'll be good enough, whether they really can make a difference, whether they can help people. And they see themselves palpably helping people. There was a conversation that happened last week that I won't soon forget, where this young rabbi-to-be is telling the story that he sits down with a patient who's about to undergo serious surgery, and he says to the patient as a way of getting the conversation going, so if God were in the room with us right now, what would you want to say to God? And the patient says, but God is in the room with us. God walked through the door with you. And so here you have this rabbi-to-be, aged what, 24, 25, who's suddenly aware that he's bearing God into people's lives. And what do you do with that? It's an incredible privilege. And so you find people going into the profession who are eager for that kind of contact at a deep level, who want to make a difference in people's lives. And you can do it as a teacher, you can do it as a giver of pastoral care, you can do it as someone who turns on kids, you can do it as who excites them with Jewish learning, Jewish activity, you can do it as someone who opens doors to the Jewish past. That's the kind of people we're attracting, to the rabbinate, to the cantorate, to Jewish education.